Hey guys, it's Ifs here. I hope you'll enjoy the video and learn something that can help you in your Dota 2 games. So, let's jump right in. As a support, your job is to help your team play the game. Your actions like warding, dewarding, rune control, and securing objectives shape the game in ways you might not realize. The better you make decisions for your team, the more likely they are to listen to your calls. In this video, we're diving deep into overlooked objectives and how you, as a support, can create opportunities that lead your team to victory. In Dota 2, you can't really control your teammates' decisions. Sometimes it feels like they're running into fights at the worst possible moments, ignoring your pings, or farming creeps while the enemy takes Roshan. That can be pretty frustrating, but the truth is, you can't really change how your team plays, only how you play. Warding isn't just about providing vision, it's about controlling the flow of information and subtly guiding your team's decisions. A well-placed ward does more than let you see the enemy. It dictates where your team feels safe to play, where you can pressure the map, and when to take objectives. Aggressive wards, deep in the enemy territory, don't just expose farming cores or rotations, they pull your teams towards action. If your allies see a vulnerable hero farming alone, they're far more likely to move in for a pick-off. If vision reveals that an area is safe, your cores will instinctively take control of their space. At the same time, you can use more defensive wards to shape your team's movement by giving them confidence to farm more dangerous areas of the map. A well-placed defensive ward can prevent hesitation and allow your carry to maximize efficiency instead of playing scared. But vision isn't just about what you see, it's also what the enemy can't see. Denying the enemy vision with sentries and D-wards doesn't just weaken their information, it forces them to second guess their moves. A team that walks into an objective blind is far more likely to hesitate or make mistakes. That means, by thinking ahead, placing wards before fights, and securing vision in crucial areas, you aren't just giving your team information, you're also leading them towards what you think is the right decisions without even communicating. Runes are a critical objective in Dota that supports often overlook, but controlling them can shift the pace at every stage of the game, just as much as vision or teamfights. They aren't just an early game advantage. Rune control remains relevant throughout the entire match, influencing fights, rotations, and objective timings. As a support, you should always be aware of the rune timings. In most games, it's important to be there for action runes, not just to secure them for your mid laner, but to deny them from the enemy. If your mid can't grab a rune, don't hesitate to take it yourself. Rune control doesn't stop after the laning phase though. As the game progresses, action runes becomes even more valuable, influencing tempo and dictating engagements. A rune picked up uncontested is a lost opportunity. Whether it's for setting up a fight, taking Roshan, or simply avoiding an enemy power spike, rune control is a constant battle throughout the game. A key part of high-level rune control is thinking ahead. If you're in a passive game, a well-placed ward near the rune spawn can reveal enemy movements before they happen. If you're playing aggressively, stacking supports or cores near a rune spawn can bait an enemy into an unfavorable fight. Runes aren't just a resource in the game, they're a strategic tool to dictate tempo from start to finish. The team that consistently controls runes are more likely to dictate the flow of the game. Tormentors are now one of the most important objectives in the game and is hugely overlooked. Securing it gives your team a big advantage while denying that same power to the enemy. Controlling it can swing the mid game, making it a key focus for both teams. But if you just walk up and start hitting it, it's not really safe. As a support, your job is to make taking the Tormentor easier and lower the risk for your team. Before committing to the Tormentor, you need to set up vision around the area and make sure the enemy isn't nearby. A well-placed ward can prevent your team from walking into a bad fight. If the game is more even and you're not really in front, maybe you should consider setting up a smoke gang before going for the Tormentor. If you catch an enemy out first, it gives you a numbers advantage, making it much safer to take the Tormentor. If you can see the enemy setting up their own attempt, a well-timed contest can also turn a free objective into a winning fight. Tormentors aren't just a free power boost anymore, they are a very fight-worthy objective. Teams that play around them properly will gain a huge mid-game edge, while those who ignore them risk giving up free momentum. I briefly want to talk about stacking. Stacking camps is a great way to help your cores get stronger, especially when there's nothing going on or an objective to play for. But stacks aren't free, the enemy can take them too. So before stacking, think about whether your team can actually secure them. Place wards nearby, keep track of enemy movements, and be ready to defend your stacks, or maybe steal the enemy stacks. One of the hardest parts of playing support isn't landing spells or placing wards. It's getting your team to make the right plays. Dota isn't a game where you can control your teammates, but you can influence them. And here's the key. Actions speak louder than words. Rather than typing in chat or spamming pings, guide them with your actions. If you ward around Roche or the enemy jungle, your team is more likely to move towards those areas. If you deward aggressively, they'll feel safer taking space. If you set up vision around an objective, they're more likely to see it as the right play. The same applies to smoke. If you buy a smoke and use it on your teammates, they're far more likely to follow you on the gank than if you just ping them up. Presenting the opportunity makes it easier for them to commit without needing to convince them. If you tell your team what to do, they might ignore you. If you over-ping, they might get annoyed. But if you simply place a word, smoke your teammates, or ping when an opportunity presents itself, it doesn't feel forced, it feels like the natural play. So good supports don't just react to the game, they shape it. Every ward you place, every smoke you use, every ping you do, makes the right decisions easier for your team. The more you set up opportunities, the more likely they are to take them. That was a lot of information, so let's quickly take a look at the key takeaways. Stacking. If there is time for it, stacking is great, but only if your team can secure it. Track enemy movements, place defensive vision, and don't be afraid to steal enemy stacks instead. Vision. Warding isn't just about vision, it's about control. The better your wards, the better your team's positioning, and the more you dictate the game's pace. Tempo. Runes can help you shape the tempo of the game. Securing or denying them at all stages keeps your team in control and stops the enemy from gaining easy advantages. Tormentors. Tormentors are now a key fighting objective. Set up vision, time your attempts carefully, and consider smoking before taking one to ensure it's safe. Influence. You can't control your teammates, but you can influence them. Your actions, such as warding, rune control, and objective setup, helps guide your team towards the right place. Leadership. Your team follows what's easy. If you set up vision, use smokes, and ping at the right moments, they're far more likely to make the right decisions without needing to be told. In your next game, focus on one aspect of your support play, whether it's warding, rune control, or stacking, and see how it impacts the match. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Dota 2 content. If you want to catch me live on Twitch, there's a link in the description, and I'll see you next time.